What's up, you guys? It's Anthony. By myself today. Andrew's in school right now and I have the day off. Instead of being lazy, I'm gonna work on the 240 today. I'm gonna fix my fan wiring. It's done incorrectly, so I'm just burning through switches and it's a fire hazard. I've been putting it off for a long time. Today I'm free and I'm just gonna get it done. Also, I have a potential drift event coming up soon. It's really annoying having to pull off track because my car is overheating. So right now we're headed to AutoZone to pick up some wire and some connectors, and then we'll head back to the house and we'll rewire the switch. All right, so we just got out of AutoZone. Probably bought more of the stuff than I needed, but we needed quick disconnects, 12 gauge wire. I got it because it was green. Green's my favorite color. 10 gauge wire. This is important. You need this when you're wiring stuff like fans because they pull a lot of current. I already have this, but I got another one. It's an inline fuse holder. The fuse holder that I had last time is for like the really skinny kind of fuses. The 240 doesn't use that in the fuse boxes. It uses the regular like fat kind. I already have to move it anyways, so I can keep the other fuse one, but I'm just gonna use this one because this is the kind of fuse that the rest of my car uses anyways. Wonder if we're running out of gas again. Kinda had a hard time starting there. Idling kinda rough right now too. I can hear the exhaust scraping just getting back in my alley right now. Before I shut it off and it runs out of gas, I just want to show you that the fans do work. Alright, so I just want to make a disclaimer. This is not a how-to video. I did have to do a little research before I tackled on this project, so I'm not going to go through all the steps because most of my fan wiring is done. I'm just fixing what's wrong with it. There's plenty of how-to videos on YouTube on how to wire an electrical fan into a car. One really good one is from my friend OffBeat Garage. So I actually used his wiring diagram as well as another friend of mine, Jason Kim from Rival Auto Works. I've talked with him a lot, and he's helped me a lot with this. So I'm gonna show you what I have and then we'll go from there. You can see there that my switch is completely melted. Let me show you the wiring diagram I got from Offbeat Garage's video. All right, so it might be hard to see, but in the middle we have the relay, 85 prong going to the switch 12 volt. The 30 prong, it's going to a 12 volt power source from the battery, and it has an inline fuse in between. So I'm not gonna wire it straight to my battery because my battery's in my back seat. I'll show you where I'm gonna wire it and it'll end up being the same thing. And if you were to choose just a random 12 volt wire, there's a possibility that that wire gets really hot and you still have a shorting issue. On the 87 prong, it's going to the fan. So that's the power from the fan. The 86 is going to an optional controller, and then that is going to ground. Here is my drawing that I made. I am having the 87 go power to the fans. The 85, it's going to a ground, which on his 85 is going to switch 12 volt, and 86 is going to a ground. Those can be flip-flopped. It's not a huge deal. They do the same. They'll end up doing the same things. On the 30, the fuse in between going to 12 volt power, which is the same as Offbeat's. Here's the back of my switches, and the top one is going to be the ground, the middle one's going to be your 12 volt power to the switch, and then the bottom is what's going to go out to whatever you're powering with the switch. For my case, it's the fans. This is my current setup. You can see that it's wrong. So my fan is going to the correct power on the relay, and 86 can be the ground. I'm getting the power to my relay with the fuse from my switch. So basically all the battery power is coming through the switch and into the relay. That's why mine are melted. Real quick before we get started, I forgot to show you guys where I'm gonna actually power the 12 volt source to. So I have this little like distributor block under here. This is where all of my fuse box and starter and alternator and battery cable and everything is hooked up. Alright guys, I just made a big noob mistake. There's one step you need to take before you do anything electrical. Disconnect your battery. So it looks like I'm gonna have to take out the fender, so that's cool. basically what I'm gonna do next, I have to get in the weird position that if you've ever done anything under a dash, you know it's super well. Got my legs wrapped around the bride seat on the shoulder bolsters. It's actually kind of comfortable. I'm like 6'2". This is not an easy thing to do. I left this one, this is the ground to the switch, that one's fine. I left the ground to the relay, and then this is the power to the fans. I cut out these two. This purple one, like I said, was going to the chassis, and then this red one had to be changed because that was the problem in the first place. This was the one that was going to that switch that was providing power to the relay and the fans that needed to be redone. Cut the inline fuse that I had, so I'll use this one to the switch since this is that style of fuse that I don't like. It's the smaller kind, unlike what is used in the 240s. Alright, so I just found something kind of cool. I was gonna buy this stuff when I was at AutoZone, I actually forgot, but it's this like wire loom stuff. I mean, it's some cheap stuff that's not like the greatest. It'll make it look cleaner and look a little nicer. Alright, so I'm gonna make the wire that goes to the battery power first. You want the inline fuse as close to the power source as possible. Seem to be making a decent connection. Alright, sweet. So these will be the two power wires with the fuses from the distribution block. One to the relay, one to the switch. So those are good. Might just have to route these parts through the car where I want them to go so it looks clean. Alright, so I'm just twisting these together a little bit, just so we can make sure that they get good contact. These wires will get loomed together and go through here onto the inside. So I'm gonna get that done right now because that's gonna be the boring part. So like an hour later and a lot of struggling, I think I got it. All the wires are routed, everything's crimped, everything's good. I'm gonna plug it all in and we're gonna see if it works. But first, let me show you what I did. Two power wires came out of the distribution block. Then they come around right here and I wrap them in this harness stuff. Then I put with the rest of my other harness stuff that's tucked to make my engine bay look clean. Then that goes through there with my other wires, through the firewall. We have the black wire, that's the power from the battery. The red wire is the wire in between the relay and the fan, which is right here. The ground one was already there, we didn't touch that one. Then this green one, that's the power coming from the battery up front also. That's the power to the fan. Fan wiring didn't change for power and the ground to the chassis didn't change. So everything's routed where it needs to be. I'm gonna plug in the relay and the switch. So here's my relay. You won't probably be able to see it, but there's numbers on it. So the relay is plugged into what I believe are the correct ones. Now I'll do the switch. All right, so ground is the top one. Green is battery powered, which is the middle. And then fan powering. Oh, I know why. I didn't put a fuse. You're gonna want at least 30 amps. Well, not at least 30. You're gonna want between like 25 and 30 to make sure that it can handle the power of these fans. Oh, they're good. Hey, you can see the vape blowing. All right, show them how strong the fans work. Do it again. You can hear them. Is that one over there spinning? Real quick, before I close the video out, I just want to show you guys the final product since it did work. Engine bay remained looking clean, and let me show you how I did that. So there's my distribution block. You can kind of see where my finger is, that red wire. That's where it's coming out the back side of that distribution block. I completely wrapped it with electrical tape and tucked it up. So the two inline fuses are tucked up under here, and then it comes out from under here then into that harness shielding stuff, which I taped all the other harness shielding things that go under my fender, through here, through the hole that I have, through the firewall right here. Not gonna be able to see anything under here, but all the wires for the relay come down right here, and the relay is bolted to like where the ECU is. And then it goes under the dash, which is then taped to the rest of the under dash harnesses as well, and goes behind. And then I don't have a like bracket for my switch yet and the gauge, but the gauge fits perfectly in there. Like it's like shoved in there. I just have the switch kind of like by itself on the side so it doesn't move. Switches up and down just fine. Everything is completely tucked up under the dash, and all the wiring's not in the engine bay at all. It's all gonna be under the fender. We still retain the clean, tucked look engine bay. All right, so the fan wiring worked. I guess this will be the end of the video. So fans working 240. Hopefully we keep the JZ cool. Like I said, I might have a track day coming up pretty soon here. So if you like this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more, and tell your friends about us. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later.